We have some people filing in and we'll be starting shortly.
Good evening, everyone. We're just having some technical difficulties, so thank you for your patience.
I don't think so right now. I appreciate. Mute this.
It's 9 minutes ago.
Just gotta you feel lower your volume.
You know how it is.
Why?
Good evening, everyone. Okay, we're gonna move on to our business meeting here at 5:30. We just had some technical difficulties. We thank you for attending. Is there a motion from the council to open our December business meeting?
Motion.
Sphera, seconded by Randy.
Thank you.
Okay, now we'll proceed with the roll call. Attendance, Jay Brown here, Randy.
Here.
Here, Lakeisha,
Here.
She's here.
is Lakeisha is here virtually.
Yes.
Sphera?
Here.
Here. Liz informed us she would not be able to attend tonight. Priscilla.
Here,
Yeah, virtual.
here,
Priscilla is here virtually.
Yes.
Amy? Here. Nadia? Here. Dawn? Here. Petra?
yes.
Here. Maxim? Here. May Payne?
Here.
Okay, we have quorum. Just want to welcome everyone to our December business meeting for Community Education Council 21. We're excited to be here at PSIS 226, hosted by Principal Klein and the 226 family. Thank you very much for having us this month. And now we'll proceed with old business. Review of the November minutes. The minutes from last month's meeting were sent ahead to all the members to review in advance of this evening's meeting. Are there any questions or concerns with the minutes? Okay, seeing no questions or concerns, we can move on to members' activities update. So just quickly, any members who would like to, it's not necessary, but if you'd like to share, because I know we've had a lot of members out and about throughout the district the past month, visiting schools. If you'd like to, give an update on any of what you have done since we last met, would anyone like to share? Petra?
When we attended a function on CEC21, where during attendance also wrong, and we had a very good time with students and the principal and the parents. They did everything so beautifully with the food, the decorations, the added to the kitchen. It was well presented. And I also attended a function yesterday at PS100. It was a holiday festival. They invited me pre-K kindergarten. They had a holiday fair, and the kids were amazing. It was a very good job. The music teacher was excellent. So we had a great time. And I sent my regards from CC to the parent coordinator. So it was well attended. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ms. here. I actually attended a PS90 climate page and an AI program that the students at PS90 created for the parents, and they welcomed Principal Brad Hawkins invited me to attend this amazing session where kids actually did a lot of research and see how AI with the incorporation of climate change and possible variations of building technologies and infrastructures in the communities in a, I guess, more environmentally friendly, sustainable way. That was a really an amazing show that the students put a lot of interactive activities and see how children are actually using modern day research and also incorporating AI in, for the future. So, good job, PS90.
I went to a concert at PS101. It was for second grade and like summer tree there. So it was a really nice concert at the second grade and that's both really nice.
Anybody else? I will.
So I attended Kingsborough's Lighthouse event, which was very informative. Jay and I put it together. PTA at Kingsborough with Workforce One held a job fair,
And the attendees were off the job, so that was very successful. We're very happy about that. I attended PS177's PTA meeting, PS212's PTA meeting. PS212 had a family math night that was very well attended, and the kids had a great time, and all the teachers and staff there were amazing. So I'm trying to think of anything else. And then on the 22nd, they're having a winter wonderland at 212. I'm going to stop by 177's pajama day, and then return back to my school for our pajama day.
I just want to share what I do in 95. So we are doing a winter stroll tomorrow. So I will be attending the stroll for the afternoon for my kids also. And also I'm also the PT president. So I have been doing a holiday sale in the school. We did a fabulous sale. So we made almost like 1,500 for today. So we ended our last Monday and Tuesday, but we still continue selling whatever we have left. That's like sale today. So we did our sales today. So we made 1,300. So it was a very successful fundraiser for our school. If any member or any have any help, you can always get around to share what we did in school. Our school always invited PTA to all the events that we have planned for parent engagement. We did a lot of engagement monthly. Yesterday we had the cookie, how to make a cookie, chocolate chip cookie on Zoom with the kid, and a story time with the grade the teacher. So thank you for the invite, and I look forward to more events for our schools too.
Okay, yes, it was a very busy month. I'll go quick. So the night after our last meeting, when we gathered for the CEC, I attended the PSIS326, who's hosting us tonight. I attended their PTA meeting to provide CEC updates. A few days later, PSIS226 had their Thanksgiving event, which provided meals to families in the community. We attended that. That was great. Next night, I was at IS96, Seth Lowe, for their PTA meeting. I think it was the next day. Kingsborough had their Thanksgiving event. So Randy, that's one of the things that she forgot to mention, but she did an amazing job, as she does every year, with the Kingsborough staff and PTA and students, organizing a huge event for Thanksgiving by grade throughout the whole day. So that was amazing to join that. November 30th, there's some CEC presidents, and we're able to meet occasionally with Chancellor Banks, so we were able to meet with him. 2 weeks ago, I dropped by on the Lighthouse event, the Kingsborough that Randy mentioned. PS177, I was able to attend the breakfast with Principal Stern. We always appreciate your monthly breakfast with the school community. And a week later, so that was last week, the President's Council was at PS177, and bring your own dessert meeting, which again, Randy spearheaded. So that was an amazing event. We thank PS177 for the warm food that they had there. There's also some trainings and meetings via Zoom, mostly pertaining to budget issues. So that's obviously a hot topic and something that's at the forefront of everyone's mind. So I've attended several of those virtually. And it was great to join some events this month. There was one just last night with, last night or 2 nights ago, with the CSA, and one with the UFT. So that was 2 weeks ago. So we thank, President Mulgrew of the UFT and President Rubio of the CSA for hosting us and, having a partnership with us and letting us discuss some issues with them and break bread. And then all the fun stuff, the holiday events. So, winter festivals I've been able to partake in, from the Cavallaro event that Dawn and Petra and I joined. That was amazing. The meals they were providing to the community with the participation of community partners and the school staff volunteering and the PTA. It was just amazing to see. PS215, amazing holiday event that I know Sphera helped plan. So that was amazing. Amazing treats and activities and crafts there for the kids and the families. So all of those were amazing events. I just
You have everyone up, right? He has everyone up.
Yeah, do you mind? Okay, we're just having a technical issue. We're still gonna need this though to present on the screens after. Okay, here, let's just do this. Thank you.
Do you want me to get, oh,
This is Steve's, but let's see. Mute this one. Okay, we're just
okay?
resolving our tech issues. Okay,
Right, just looks like that's the chat.
okay. Do we have audio? You can hear us? Can we be heard online on Zoom? Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, so we're continuing with the roll call for our minutes. Lakeisha, joining virtually.
Yes, here.
Esfira?
Yes.
Liz is not present. Priscilla,
I'm here.
approval of the minutes? Priscilla, your
I
vote on,
approved the minutes. I approved the minutes.
thank you, Priscilla. Amy? Approved. Nadia? Good. Dawn? Petra? Max? Maypeng?
Approved.
Thank you. And now, we're going to move on to the review of a resolution urging DOE to implement class size working group proposals that involve citywide community education councils in compliance with the new class size law. We sent the resolution out ahead of time, for review. If there are any questions or concerns from the council at this time in our business meeting, feel free to. Yep. Dawn?
I have questions with this resolution. I'm giving out my own experience. So I have a son in sixth grade and I have a daughter in, first grade. So, both of them is in the class for more than whatever the size of it. So I would probably be the one that's sharing the list. But come to think about the consequences. For example, my daughter will be going into sixth grade, where there is a nearby middle school, 3 blocks away. But if the camp is on, which I believe is 23 students, then likely my daughter may not be able to get into that, and I don't know where she's going to end up in. So I think that would be an concern for a lot of parents. I don't have a solution, I have the problem that I'm presenting. So perhaps we look for a collective feedback from everyone. Thank you.
I will just add to that, with respect to this particular resolution, you know, the intention of the resolution is moving forward on the fact that this is the law. There were some people who were cheerleading for this law to be passed, and some people who were opposing the law being passed. Governor Hochul signed the bill into law. So it is the law, and the city is being held to comply with the law. So this resolution was intended as moving forward on that assumption. And being that it was following on the heels of this class size working group, which was a group of about 50 people from across the city. Some people who like the law, some people who don't like the law, people in between. as recommendations on how we move forward with something that is the law, that the city is being, compelled to comply with. And, I think, the points you raised are very valid. And I think, whether people love this law and wanted to be passed before it was passed, or really hated it, everybody acknowledged, even the people who like it, that there were real challenges with how it would be implemented in New York City. So this resolution is intended to, move forward with some of the recommendations on how to move forward with the class size law, and, particularly how to involve community education councils in how it's, applied in districts like ours. So that's my own personal commentary on it. I don't know if anybody else wants to speak. Randy was actually on the class size working group of 50 people from across the city.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So the resolution is not something that we're looking to do. The state law is already gonna be mandated to happen. We're just asking for them to implement, the proposals that the class size working group came up with. It's not that the DOE is going to take every single recommendation, their recommendations, but we want them to move forward more immediately than to wait until 2028 to get everything completed. So that's the only ask that we have in the resolution.
Any other comments? Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Randy. The way I understand, law and policies implementation is when a policy is in place, such as the law, during implementation phase, that there are, issues being discovered. And then that could be, reviewed, meaning something that someone or a community needs to put in a, suggestion during those times, and that should be logged. That is the challenge of implementing the law. And that, I believe, that can result into an amendment to the policy. And I'm looking for a solution where, we discover this, right? And to address the parents' concern, rather waiting until 2028 to do so. So it is more so I'm looking for a solution or a proposal to this law. Rather than moving forward and, asking DOE to implement, but rather asking DOE to implement with certain consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. Yeah, and I think one of the things too is like being that this is law, and it has been signed into effect. I mean, one of the things too is speaking with our elected representatives at the state level, because it's state law that affects New York City. So the concerns you have, that many people have, that's something, I'm sure you would say maybe somewhat unfortunately in certain respects that this is a law, because I know you have concerns about certain aspects. So, these are things that state legislators would need to address, being that this is a law that they collectively passed and was signed into law by the governor. Are there any other questions or concerns about this resolution? Okay, so we will be voting on this in our calendar meeting. We can move over on to review of our second resolution, which is in support of sustaining key education programs funded with expiring federal COVID-19 relief funds. That was sent out as well. You have a copy in front of you. I don't know if anyone has any questions or concern. This is pertaining to programs that were specifically funded the last few years with federal COVID-19 relief funds that are expiring. So this is particularly about, trying to find ways to maintain some of these much needed programs that we've seen have been so helpful for our students and our school communities. Are there any questions or concerns about that resolution? Okay, nope, so we will move on to the treasurer's report, which Asphira will provide.
Hello again. Okay, so we had an opening balance of 25,000. We now have about 2,200 in total expenses for reimbursements and supplies. Our total budget remaining is $22,719 for as of December 1st.
Thank you, Asphira. And just really quickly, we had a bullet point on here for the review of the spending proposal. So we're still working within the DOE system of where we can purchase things. Our proposal, but we need to be able to have one and be able to vote on it, which we won't be able to do. We don't need to vote on it? Yeah, okay. So we're informing the council that we're, with the extra funds that we were given back, you know, we mentioned before that we had taken money out of our coffers before our budget to give to our previous AA to give them a raise, but that now has been given back to us. So now we have the full funded $25,000 amount that all CECs generally get. We have more money than we've had to work with the past few years. We would like to buy this OWL camera, which we're borrowing from President's Council right now. So that's one thing. It's just under $900. And we like to buy our own laptop, so we're not borrowing from every school we go to. So those are the items that we're looking to. Are there any objections to that? No, okay, yep. So we're in agreement, so that those will be the expenditures that we use, you know, this coming month. Okay, thank you very much. And we can call for adjournment. Does anybody have a motion to adjourn? Amy and May-Ping. So that's the adjournment. So now we're going to move on to our calendar meeting at 6 o'clock. And we have a wonderful performance from the PSIS 226. So it's the IS portion, 226 middle school band under the direction of music teacher, Ms. Pietro. And we're ready to begin whenever the band is ready to begin. Okay, and yeah, whenever they're ready, Mr. Klein. Okay, that's fine. And being that, as we're waiting for the band to make their entrance, we'll quickly do our roll call, our call to order. So is there a motion to begin this meeting? Okay, Asphira and Amy. And then we'll do the roll call. Jay is present, Randy?
Present.
Lakeisha?
Present.
Asphira?
Here.
Liz is absent. Priscilla?
Here.
Amy? Nadia? Dawn? Petra? Max? And May-Ping?
Yeah.
Okay, and just, you know, we're just welcoming everybody to our calendar meeting here for District 21 for the month of December. As always, we're glad to be here, joined by Superintendent DeMola. Just want to say, we want to thank everyone here, Principal Klein, the staff, everyone at PSIS 226. Thanks to the parent coordinator, Ashley Lermer, for helping us out, Ms. O'Neill, with tech support, our assistant principals, Hyman, Killily, and Neville. Thank you to all the principals, APs, teachers, parent coordinators, support staff, students, and families for joining us in person and virtually tonight, as well as members of the community who've come out to join us both virtually and here in person. We'd like to acknowledge Anthony Aguilar, our FACE DOE governance team specialist, for his continued support. Thanks to all our partners in organized labor, the various chapter leaders from our schools across District 21, our district UFT rep, Adam Shapiro, for everything you all do. Thank you very much. We just ask that any discussions we focus on issues and ideas, not other people. I direct everything to superintendent or the council members, and we'll just have a nice, comfortable space for people to feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. And attendees in the Zoom, just keep the chat focused on the issues and toward us. And with that, we welcome Miss Pietro and the middle school band. Okay, we're gonna go straight.
Color guard, to do the, pledge.
Yeah. They're gonna come next, right?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. You can stay. I want you to stay. Stay. Hey, buddy. Everybody, rise for a color guard.
Assembly salute, assembly flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. You may be.
My name is Mr. Klein, Principal PSI 226. I just want to welcome everybody to our school. We're so lucky to be hosting the District 21 Community Education Council. Welcome to the Brown family. Welcome Superintendent Jamola. Thank you so much. I wish everybody a happy, healthy holiday and happy, healthy new year. We have an amazing middle school band that we couldn't be prouder of under the direction of our amazing music director, Ms. Pietro. We have 52 members, 52 proud characters that you see on stage here. We have an amazing holiday song for you. We also have an amazing Mr. Holland Opus grant and a New York Pops program that helped produce the performance that you will see today. We also have an amazing winter concert on Friday that this will help us rehearse towards. We have 2 great performances on Friday. So without further ado, I turn it over to our middle school band. Enjoy the show.
That was amazing. Thank you. And now our council returns to our seats along with our superintendent. That was a great performance. Thank you very much. All the students from CEC21, go Panthers. Okay, so now we're going to move on with the next item on our agenda. Okay, so now we move ahead with the presentation from the School Construction Authority. Do we have Steve with us?
Yes,
Steve
here.
Gonzalez from the SCA is here to join us, as he does pretty much every year around this time when we
Yes.
talk about the coming capital plan. And we'll be coming out to, this is just a reminder to quickly before I throw to you, Steve, to
Sure.
our members that will be reaching out to our liaison schools, coordinating meetings, so we could be there on the ground, seeing like what the needs are in the schools, what our principals are really needing capital improvements on in their schools. And then we'll be coming together as a council and prioritizing that at a district-wide level. And then forwarding that on through the process to the school construction authority. But Steve's gonna give us a full primer on the whole process and what's in store for the capital plan in District 21. So Steve, do you have a presentation ready to?
Yes, I do. I'm going to share it.
Okay, and let's make sure we have you as a host, as a
Yeah,
co-host.
I don't know if you had me down there, but I mean, I do have a share screen button.
Yeah, okay, so if you have a share screen button, you should be a co-host.
Okay, no problem.
Did we make Steve a co-host?
He's not a co-host.
Okay. This is, yeah, let me just. Just making sure you have the capability, Steve.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Is that it?
We're gonna host, co-host, right? Let's make you a host. Okay, you should be ready to share now, Steve.
Okay, I'll start. Basically, CEC President, Superintendent Demola, ladies and gentlemen, both virtual and in person. Thank you for giving the SCA this evening the chance to, as we always do, as you mentioned before. Want me to hold?
Go ahead, sorry.
And to do this presentation. So let me share my screen. And I would like to recognize a partner that we work closely with, the Division of School Facilities. I believe that the Deputy Director, Charles Forte, DSF, is on the call. He's virtual tonight, so I did want to recognize him.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Okay. All right, so as I start here, this is the first shot of the Bishop Kearny building conversion that we're looking to open up in September of 2025. So the agenda tonight that I will be discussing is the overview of the February 2023 amendment to the fiscal year 2020-2024 plan. It highlights the capacity program, the capital improvement, Reso A, MWLBE, and then the proposed next 5-year capital plan for fiscal year 2025-2029. Its proposed plan highlights capacity program, comment form, and any questions and comments. So the February 2023 amendment to the 5-year capital plan, 2020-2024 fiscal years. Here, as you have a shot of the IS-98 Bay Academy current exterior masonry project. So that plan was total amount in the last year of the capital plan was $19.4 billion. Capacity was $7.95 billion. Capital improvements, $7.94 billion. That includes exterior mod, masonry, any parapets, roofs, windows. Mandated programs, $3.47 billion. Those are programs that are mandated such as such. Capacity, $7.95 billion on capacities. Accessibilities projects, which that includes elevators, electrification projects. This is a new mayor's initiative. Technology of smart boards, upgrades in the classroom. In terms of IT, $1.02 billion. And removals of temporary classroom units, which are still in the process at the citywide level, and then playground development, and that was $317 million. So capacity program, to break it down, $5.52 billion new capacity. Replacement programs, $806 million. Class size reduction, $605 million. Capacity to remove TCUs, $267 million. Early education, $756 million. And here's an example of our new capacity. As mentioned before, Bishop Kearny building conversion. Okay, so District 21 capacity lists. You will see those that are highlighted in the current capital plan. Project number 3, I'll just see if I can. Let me go up a little bit. All right, so project 3, that's not cited. Those seats are not cited. PS 253, which will be opening next year, to the excitement of the school and staff and students. John Dewey Annex, which is September 2026. Even though this is not part of District 21, it will be the annex to the high school. It is included in District 21 capacity numbers. And then the educational campus at 22, I mentioned before, Bishop Kearny, 2202 60th Street, and that is slated for September 25. Okay, let me bring this back. Okay. I think skip the page. Okay, capital improvements. Now, capital improvements include projects such as exterior masonry, as I mentioned before, windows, parapets, flood elimination, roof replacement, accessibility. That includes building elevators. And there are a number of projects in, I believe, District 21. We have one at PS 188, playgrounds, auditoriums, gymnasium upgrades. Now, how do these capital improvements projects come to fruition? Through a number of sources. Number one, BCAS, Building Conditions Assessment Survey. We have, as I mentioned before in the past, we have a consultant that goes to each school citywide, including District 21, and they do rate the building, a rating scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the worst in terms of conditions and being pretty much being eligible for a capital improvement project to be funded. DSF reported issues. These are issues reported by Division of School Facilities where they unfortunately cannot handle the maintenance of a certain issue in school and its in terms of safety or otherwise. And they then red dotted to the SCA for us to handle and to look to fund. Mandated repairs, those are repairs that are mandated by the SCA that have to be done for safety. Reso A, these are projects that are funded through our local city council persons and the borough president's office or other or state grants or other organizations, foundations. And then, of course, as you mentioned before, Mr. President, the CEC requests. That's also, we look to fund where needed through CEC requests. Okay. District 21 highlights, CIP highlights. So electrical systems, let me start the big ticket items. Accessibility, I mentioned before, there are 4 projects, over $21 million. Then you have exterior masonry projects. You have 5 of them, again, over $21 million. Windows, it was the biggest list here, it was almost 29.5. And there were 4 of them in District 21. And one of these exterior projects, as I mentioned before, I showed before, IS 98, exterior masonry, brick and window replacement. Reso A, as I mentioned before, these are projects that are school-specific capital improvement or enhancement projects that are funded by members of the New York City Council, the Borough President's Office, or individual grants. So, and here's one, Adrian Hengman, PS 92, I guess exterior modernization. District 21 Reso A highlights. We have auditorium upgrades. There were 12 of them. They totaled almost $8 million. Roofs, 2 projects totaling $6 million. Technology, there were 64 projects totaling $6.5 million. We've had 13 science lab upgrades in District 21 over the past 4 years, $7.2 million. Okay, MWLBE. I'll dedicate a minute or 2 to this. SCA is always dedicated and has been dedicated for the past 30 years to increasing participation of minority-owned, women-owned, and local-based business enterprises, so we call them MWLBEs, on SCA projects citywide, including through MWLBE targets on our projects. We also run a mentor program, which provides key support through this program and access to capital and business opportunities for qualified emerging MWLBEs. So you have District 21. You've had total amount of 18 projects, totaling a little over $38.5 million. Total amount of MWLBE firms that were involved were 7. So now moving to the proposed 5-year capital plan, 2025-2029. As such, proposed 2025-2029 capital plan, you have total amount $17 billion, capacity $4.98 billion, healthy schools $2.25 billion, capital improvement $6.37 billion, mandated programs, 3.40 billion. New capacity, 4.13 billion. Electrification projects. Now, this is a new initiative by the mayor's office, pushing for, in terms of the widowing out of boiler projects and moving towards electrification. Technology, 1.25 billion. Accessibility, 800 million. Physical education space upgrades, 325 million. And cafeteria enhancement experience, 150 million. And the capacity program alone, $4.13 billion citywide. Facility replacement, 400 million. Early education, 200 million. 250 million capacity to remove temporary structures and playground redevelopment. Healthy school highlights, continuing investing in electrifying existing facilities. And this is the mayor's initiative, as I mentioned before, in addressing failing boilers to provide clean, environmentally friendly facilities, creating health and nutritional learning spaces with a focus on underserved neighborhoods, more funding allocated to upgrade athletic fields, pools, gyms, and playgrounds, and continuing the implementation of successful programs such as the cafeteria experience enhancement. Highlights. And again, this is the beginning of the highlights. This plan very possibly could change in the upcoming years as we move through this capital plan with plan amendments. But as right now we have two exterior masonry projects slated, totaling a little over 12 million. Flood elimination, 3.4 million. School safety, 1.3, and roofs, $2 million. And then you have here the Education Council request form, as mentioned prior, and the date to file is Friday, January the 12th. So exterior affairs manager is myself. If you need to get a hold of me, that is my work number, but I will give you my cell. It is 347-539-0157. Yvette Knight is the External Affairs Director. And then, of course, the CEC building comment form information, which it's council@nycsca.org. Their number is 718-472-8709. So that concludes my presentation this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And give a few minutes for a few questions if there are
Sure,
any.
yes.
I'll start. Just one thing, touching on the last slide you're on for this one, with respect to the flood, I guess, remediation funds, flood improvement funding.
Yeah, flood elimination, yes.
Right, $3.4 million. That's a district-wide.
That's a district-wide. Jay, I just want to caution that those numbers could change
Gotcha.
as we move along in the plan. There will be plan amendments in subsequent years as we've done in the past. Okay,
and with respect to that, like not focusing so much on the amount, because obviously we've seen excessive flooding recently, in many areas, especially across District 21. Like what type of improvement? Because obviously it has to be improvements on property that the SCA can make improvements upon. So often it's the surrounding area, it's the infrastructure around the school, outside of school property that leads to the flooding within the school. So like what sort of things are going to be focused on to, make flood improvements, for the school buildings with SCA funds?
Well, again, in terms of safety, when I talk in terms of safety, water infiltration, when they BCAS consultants have, they do their ratings and they go check. They do check and rate in terms of roofs, the condition of the roofs, because as we know, water infiltration can happen through leaky parapets and roofs. DSF has come to us on a number of occasions to red dot projects where they have found issues in existing buildings where there are, that were not previously slated for capital improvement projects or flood elimination projects. And then they come to us for assistance I'll give one example, which not related to DSF or what I just mentioned before. We have an exterior project at PS209. I know the principal's on the call, and we've had meetings with Mr. Barone, with Matt, over the past number of months. We have found, unfortunately, conditions, pre-existing conditions that have occurred when we opened up the envelope of the building, and we have found, unfortunately, corroded structure, and we've had to go in and do extensive work to repair that. We had issues in the gym last year. We're having that in 2 classrooms that we're working on. So that was our examples that we would do in terms of funding.
Gotcha, Steve. I appreciate that, because I know you're limited in what you can do. I know sometimes we have schools where water is coming out of the sinks, you know, when we're getting 3-4 inches of rain in an hour, and that's
And
not
that's what
necessarily
occurred
the
last,
school
unfortunately,
infrastructure.
that occurred this past weekend. I mean,
Right.
a number of.
And that's an issue with the 100-year-old sewers that were not built to handle 3 inches of rain in an hour.
Of course.
So
And as you know, Jay, and members of the CEC and principals, you do have a number of schools, especially in Brooklyn, in District 20 and 21. They're old buildings. A lot of buildings are now approaching over 100 years old.
Yes, definitely. I just want to, any other members of the council, anyone else up at the table here who would have any questions for Steve? Yes, Dawn.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question. I did notice the new planning for the new capacity is 1.13 million. I think that is it for the whole city or District 21?
I didn't hear it too well. Jay, could you repeat the question?
Is the new capacity budget 4.13 billion allocated specifically for District 21?
No, that is citywide.
Yeah, the billion number was, it was citywide.
It's citywide, okay.
So-
Do we know how much of it is allocated to District 21 or?
Yeah,
Well-
go
ahead, Jay.
No, I wasn't sure if you heard the question. You can go on.
Yes. So yes, I did hear the question. So there is, the Department of Ed is now having what they call a citywide class size committee that determines areas where, targeted areas where they could look to add capacity seating in the new schools, and that's what that will be doing in the future. So they'll be targeting areas, especially, you know, in the various districts around the city, also in 21, where they will see if there's a specific need for a new school in a particular area, and they will target the seating in terms of seat need for a new building facility.
Thank you. So I guess that is the leading question to my next, which you answered partially. I was going to ask if out of those allocated to District 21, how much of those is used to address the building new school, so the implementation of the new class size law is a success for District 21?
I didn't hear it too well, Jay.
Okay, so she's asking essentially how much of those funds are directly being targeted towards addressing the requirements of the new class size law, you know.
Such as building new schools.
Yeah, in terms of building new schools, things like that, the money allocated towards that, how much of that is being directed and focused on complying with the new class size law?
I thought I indicated that in the in the presentation, but that was citywide. I don't have the breakdown, and I'd have to double check in terms of breakdown for District 21. I would have to check into that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me check. I will ask.
Steve checks on that. Are there any other questions specifically?
I'll have to get back to you. I won't be able to get that to you tonight, but I will get back to you on that.
We appreciate that, Steve. Any other questions? Okay, we have a hand raised on the Zoom from 96.
Yeah, hi Jay, it's me, Jen, Goddard over at IS 96. So I have a question as far as, can you speak, Steve, thank you very much, this is a great presentation.
Thank you very
Can you
much.
speak? Yeah, I always look forward to yours. Can you speak to how the city departments are working together to maximize, if you're limited to say, what was it, 3.4 billion for flood elimination, right?
Yes.
How are the departments working together? So for example, like like the Parks Department, when you've got a park like Seth Low Park, that is just an absolute, you know, inundated during a torrential downpour. Are you guys collaborating so we can maximize this budget and really get, to the root of the problem? I mean, you can do so much to the structure of the school to create flood, safeguards, but if the park is still going to be under 3 feet of water, it doesn't matter.
I understand. As you know, the SCA is limited to the work that we do in our schools. We do coordinate and work with DSF because since they are responsible for the maintenance of school buildings such as IS 96. And unfortunately, whatever flooding that happens at Sithlow Park right next door to IS 96 is out of our control. So we do our best. When there is a situation as what occurred a number of months ago, when there was widespread flooding over on Avenue P. So as I said, it's very limited what we can do. We do work with DSF. Charles Forte will certainly concur, and we do to the best of our ability to work with the schools. I know that there had been issues in the past with water infiltration in 96. As we know, there is the Success Academy is in that building. So we're not only dealing with one school with Eileen's school, but we also have Success Academy that we work closely with.
So I wonder if this is something I should probably raise as a parent, a concerned parent, maybe to the controller, the New York City controller, to say, what are you doing to coordinate these? This is a tremendous amount of money, and I would hate to see it go. I don't want to say to waste, but if nothing's being done to remediate the parks problems, it's kind of.
Well, I mean that's something that would be a question with parks. I mean that unfortunately that's totally out of our realm. I mean that would be a parks question.
Or a controller to see what the controller's doing to kind of oversee that, the waste, if there's any, not that you're wasting your money or your time, but
I can
you know
assure
what I
you
mean?
not. I mean,
I know you're not, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? But I
Sure.
appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Jen. Are there any other questions online for Steve or in person here? Okay, seeing no other questions. Steve, we thank you for your time as always.
Thank you very much. Have a great, happy holiday season to each and every one of you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Steve.
Thank you. Take
Yes.
care.
We appreciate it.
Bye now.
Thank you. And again, reminder to our council members, we'll be going through the capital plan process. We'll be providing more information. We'll be getting out there to our schools that we liaison with. And
If
we'll
Jay,
have-
reach out to me for any questions, if you in terms
of course,
list forms, just let me know.
of course. Thank you so much, Steve.
All right,
And
take
then we
care.
will be having meetings as a council committee meeting to go over the capital plan for all those who are interested in doing the district-wide prioritization that we do. So we're moving on to the next item here, which is going to be our superintendent's report. So I will turn it over to Superintendent DeBola. Let me know if this one is good.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. I'm going to ask Steve to bring up our presentation for this evening. So, this evening we'll be presenting, the state of the district to the Community Education Council of District 21 and to the community at large. So I have help with this evening. I invited Lauren Wexler from the District 21 team. She is our literacy implementation specialist, and she's wearing the new District 21 uniform, hot pink and black pants. No, not really. Coincidentally, we both wore the same outfit to present tonight. So it just happens that way sometimes. I guess it means we're spending too much time together. We're starting to think alike.
Take the picture.
Okay. Yes, that's a better picture than my presentation. Okay, are we good? Yeah, that looks like it.
They're just about there.
Okay, well, I'm gonna start talking and then Jay will catch up with the slides because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. It's been a long day for all of us. So I start the presentation by just telling you a little bit about who we are. So District 21 public schools are composed of 4 pre-K centers that are servicing 3K and 4K, 28 schools that serve grades pre-K 3 through grade 8, 14 elementary schools, 8 K to 8 schools, 6 middle schools. Those are the schools under my supervision as the community superintendency of District 21. However, District 21 has other schools. There are 2 schools that service grades 6 through 12. We have 9 high schools serving grades 9 through 12, 1 transfer high school, 1 YABC program, 3 charter elementaries, and 1 charter middle school. They each have their own superintendents, not under my purview. All right, just a little bit of who the district team members are. I'm Isabel DeMola. I'm the community superintendent. I've had the privilege to be in this role for 15 years. I can't imagine doing any other work for this department. This is my home. Deputy Superintendent Erin Lynch and Lisa Jagu, our Executive Director of School Support and Operations, make up the leadership team of the district. We have help from Nicole Esposito, Georgia Pezzolante, and Timothy Tomasello, who help run our office and work with our parents. And then as a department, we've reorganized and we have a much bigger team that has grown a little bit since last year. So I'm not going to read everyone's name, but we have a number of team members and each one has a specialty. But we work as a team in supporting our schools, whether it is with instructional support, student support services, special education, programming and data, physical education, and the rollout of New York City Reads. So we work collaboratively every day to support our schools. We're in our schools a lot. And I feel very fortunate to have the team that I have because we're all like-minded and we are dedicated to making sure our students have the best experience possible and supporting our principals and our teachers and working collaboratively with our partners in CSA and UFT. Shapiro is here tonight. Hi, Adam. So just a little bit about the leadership and who's working in our schools with our children. We have 29 principals, 81 assistant principals, over 2,500 teachers and over 500 UFT paraprofessionals, and 43 family paraprofessionals working in the district. It takes a big village to work and support all of our students with over 150 school aides. And these numbers are approximate because they change daily as new hires come in and as people leave. 12 supervising school aides, we have a number of family workers, school food employees, school safety employees, and custodians and facilities employees that make it possible for our schools to run every day. And I'm so grateful for everyone and the amounts of commitment and work that goes into the daily running of the district and the schools. So who are our customers? Who do we serve? So again, these numbers are approximate. They change every day, but we have about 1,800 students in our pre-K classrooms, both pre-K 3 and 4. Over 12,000 students in our K to 5 grade band, over 9,000 students in 6 to 8, and over 12,000 students in our high schools. We are a full district. We are one of the few districts in New York City who have not rapidly lost enrollment. I mean, even though we're maybe slightly below where we were before COVID, we're still considered one of the most overcrowded districts in New York City. So the demographic makeup of our students, as you can see, we're about a fifth, 21% of our students are English language learners or multilingual learners. We're holding steady with our number of special education students at about 17%. And then we have the demographic breakup on the chart. And we are a district with 75% of students identifying as economically disadvantaged. So we receive a great deal of Title I funding in. So the 2023 testing period was a new test, and that's why on this slide, I did not put the growth from the last test in 2022, because it is a different test. It wasn't testing the same set of standards. We're now using the next generation learning standards. So if you look at our data from that baseline test, 57.3% of our students scored proficient in ELA, which is slightly above the city. And 59% of our students scored proficient in mathematics, which is about 10% above the city average. So our baseline is strong, but we're not satisfied with that by any means. This next slide just shows a comparison of the different groups and where we are compared to the city. And although in most of the categories, we are slightly above or significantly above the city average, there is still, disproportionate outcomes for our Black students that are below the city average, and our Asian students slightly below the city average as well. So that, we do a deep dive looking at why that disproportionality exists, and we're working hard on that, but also know that we're not satisfied with any of this data. It is our goal to get more than the vast majority of students to be at or above grade level by the time they leave us at the end of the 8th grade. And in math, you see that we're also above the city average in most categories, but with the same areas of disproportionality. So we're working very hard on math as well. The next slides are looking at our baseline beginning of year screener data. So what this is looking at is where the students coming into the new grade are in comparison to that new grade's standards. We don't expect students to be at grade level standard in September. Right, and if you look at the data, you see that most of our students come into our kindergarten and first grade primarily, at least the yellow is at 1 grade level below. They've mastered the standards of the grade before. If they're in the yellow, they're in the green, they're already proficient in a lot of the standards of their grade. And the different shades of red show how far away they are from the standards that were assessed. The teachers use this data as a baseline, but also to determine what other screeners and assessments need to be given to students to identify where those specific learning gaps are, so that individual students can receive interventions that will help accelerate learning and close the gaps. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later when Lauren talks about New York City News. So this slide talks about the data in reading, the change from fall to fall in middle school, 6, 7, and 8. And you can see it's pretty steady from fall to fall where we are with students. And again, it's assessing where they are in relation to the standards of their new grade, not the grade that they just left. The iReady data, and this is again just a baseline data set in math, and it really is used to inform daily instruction and help teachers plan. You can go to the middle school data in math as well. Okay, So where are we as a district in terms of the chancellor's priorities? So we've heard the chancellor's 4 pillars or his 4 priorities to scale, sustain, and restore what works. So broadly, as a district, we participate in a lot of professional learning around what is working in our schools. We do intervisitations, we do standalone professional development to identify our best practices and share those practices across our school, because we don't always need to reinvent the wheel. We want to elevate what's working and expand on what's working. We also partner with our neighboring districts 20 and 22 to collaborate and share best practices. Reimagining how students learn. You know, if we think about technology, progress, and any other field but education, you know, reimagining how things are done is very easy to look at. In education, we're really, you know, constantly looking at how can we reimagine the experiences for our students so that they can utilize the resources of today to elevate and accelerate their learning. So we're bringing more and more technology. We're using more and more data to find research-based strategies to elevate. We're expanding the trips that our students go on and our partnerships with corporate America to make sure that our students really have access to the world that they live in, and that the academic program that they're involved in is aligned to the life that they're going to have in the 21st century. Okay. So prioritize wellness and its link to student success. District 21 is really a pioneer district in the concept of social emotional learning and its connection to academic success. For years, we have been embedding social emotional learning into our schools. And as a district, it is expected that social emotional learning is embedded into the daily experiences of students. We have the ruler ambassador of PSIS 226 here today. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. I am one of the 8 lead ruler student ambassadors of PSIS 226. And like Mr. Muller said, yes, we implement SEL, which is social emotional learning, and it's really important for our schools. So I'll turn it over to Steve.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So yes, and I can attest that PSIS 226, which is a ruler mentor school, only one of 2 in New York City, really is a model on how to do this work. But across the district in all of our schools, we have very robust social emotional and academic learning happening, almost like a tapestry where the academic and the social emotional weaves into one beautiful piece on a daily basis. And starting in pre-K, our students are learning social emotional language skills and how it ties into their readiness to receive their academic learning. So I'm very proud of the work we do here in the district. And empowering parents and families to be our partners. We're constantly working with CEC President's Council, our school parent coordinators, and our parent groups to expand opportunities for partnership and to engage our families in work that will enhance the academic experience and enhance the readiness of families to really be active partners in their children's education. School is very different now than it was when most parents went to school, whether here in New York City or in their country of origin. So that partnership is so critical to our success, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we move on. So from those chancellor's priorities, we've set goals as a district to improve literacy across all grades and content areas is our priority, along with the City of New York right now and New York City Reads. We are in the process of shifting our practices to align to the science of reading, and we have implemented a district-wide comprehensive curriculum in literacy in grades K through 5, utilizing HMH into reading. 22 of our schools are participating in the phase 1 rollout of this curriculum, but all of our schools are participating in the rollout of the science of reading. We have goals around accelerating outcomes for our students with special needs. And we're really working very closely with our teachers. And Adam and I talked about this again. Adam Shapiro is here from the UFT. So just want to highlight Adam's presence this evening. Hi, Adam. Really supporting our teachers in understanding what the content of an IEP is and how their practice can be aligned to teaching students with IEPs.
We have a power issue.
We're having a power issue on one of the computers.
No, it's the schools.
The hour?
No, it's the schools.
Okay,
Laptop,
should I keep
power
going?
down.
No, the hour.
The owl's
so-
good. The
So everyone can still hear
presentation
me.
for here in person went down.
Oh, okay. So everybody look at me, not your screens, because your screens here are down at the moment. Okay, so the show must go on. All right, so, and I'm really grateful for the commitment of our teachers that are working with our team at the district and their administrations and really lifting the opportunities and experiences for students with special needs. So we just talked about how we're embedding social emotional learning into all aspects of the curriculum. And we're focusing on what we call tier 1 or core instruction. So when we think about daily instruction for students, tier 1 or core instruction is what's happening in the classroom during lessons for every student. Right, and using data to differentiate and support students in that daily new learning. And then we talk about tier 2, which is using data to provide very targeted supports to students to fill their gaps. Tier 3 are for the students that are having the biggest struggle. And that's an even more granular approach. And that's a very small number of students that we get. But our focus is tier 1, those experiences every day for our students. And of course, we want to continue to work with our families and parent leaders on enhancing our supports and programming for families. So now I'm going to ask Lauren to come join us. And she's going to talk to us in her area of expertise, which is literacy, and give us a little bit of information around the science of reading, the literacy shifts, and what we're doing as a district to engage our schools. Lauren, I like your outfit.
Yeah. So thank you for having me tonight. I'm very excited to be here to share this information with you.
Did you say hi to Adam?
Hello, Adam. I am a District 21 ELA implementation specialist. My role is to support all things literacy. So, New York City reads is what the overall arching title of this work is. And the idea is that as a district, we call the goal. We create goals to support this work. So K-5 schools implement an HMH into reading step 4, tier 1 instructional program that we're using. And it's aligned to science of reading with the aim of 65% of our students reaching their target goal, reading goals, identified by Canadians and identified those are readers that are entirely interested in reading. Canadians students who grade A through 2, and identity students who grade 3 through 5. And then our grade 6 to 8 schools are learning about and aligning with the literacy-based curriculum to the science of reading. So they are not mandated yet to be in the reading curriculum. However, they are making the shift along with us. And alongside the K-5 schools. The goal is that 65% of our students reaching their target reading goals measured by Canadian and identity data. Again, in the middle school, we're using identity as their students. All students will accelerate progress to close the gaps and achieve grade level proficiency in all grades and content. over cognitive literacy, but also other subjects as well. So if you look shifting towards the science of reading, so we're very used to hearing about level tests and guided reading and all those things. So those are things that we're shifting away from because science of reading tells us that the brain needs to really learn how to read explicitly. So we see on the chart that there's from these common literacy practices from non-systemic, non-explicit instruction to very explicit in those areas. So we're no longer using level tests. We're not saying you won't hear your students coming home, books that have level A, B, C, D, that's a single class. We're providing quotable tests, such as data 2, which really target the skills that they need to become better leaders. And it's really science-based instruction. So I'm going to go on to the next slide, which is the overview of New York City reads. So the core components of that are these four things we see. Assessment, which are those screeners, so that we have data of students, so we know what it is that they need. Professional learning, so that we're providing teachers with what they need to and administrators to implement this program in their schools. Core curriculum, so that's our intermediate children, same curriculum for the entire district, so we can all have the same language. And intervention programs, such as we kind of spoke before, for tier 2 and tier 3 interventions are very data driven, and we know what programs children need based on the screeners that we give. We do a secondary screener based on that data, we can fine tune what it is that those students need to really work on. And then literacy, leadership, and systems, that comes from above. I go to a meeting with our central office teams, and the whole city sort of on the same page, all of this work. And we're working together very closely with those things, with those teams. So why do we choose 1818 to read it? So this program really meets the needs of diverse learners. So the materials meet the expectations of the standard, which is important. It's rigorous, the texts are high quality. Students are provided opportunities for skill development over the course of the full year. So they're given many opportunities to practice these things. The texts are organized to support knowledge building and increase academic vocabulary, because vocabulary is really important to master reading. Embedded materials to support accessibility strategies and activities. There's guidance for engaging with families. Bilingual support, my counterpart in Spanish. As a district, we are working with other languages to support this work. Resources for collecting data, so teachers have an easy way to get all the data so they can make the best decisions when they're working with your students. And materials that provide language focus across lessons and specific suggestions for language supports, as well as small instructions for when we're meeting kids' specific needs. So it's a very comprehensive program, and that's why it was chosen. So these are the 6 shifts that the city had chancellor tasked us with. I will talk a little bit about it. So shift 1 is a systemic phonics instruction. In our district, we are using foundations, OG, and really big. Those are the 3 programs. Most of our schools are using foundations, and a handful that are using OG, but all these programs really make very explicit in the way that they teach phonics. That's really important. In the shift 2 is using quotables in grade K-2. And that's coming away from those level texts that we're used to students coming home and book baggies, and they have a bunch of books in them that are on their grade level. We've come away from that in grade K-2. We're using quotables because the data shows what they need, and those are the books that we provide instruction around and those skills. So the quotables are being used there. Small group differentiated instruction based on leadership 3. That's why we give the secondary screener, once we give the initial screener, so we can really pinpoint the needs of our students and provide them with differentiated instruction based on exactly what it is that they need, so once we fill those gaps, move them along. Shift 4 is explicit instruction package with fluency. So fluency is a direct correlation to comprehension. In order for students to really be on grade level, like in class, they need to be fluent. So that means that they're reading, they don't read like a robot, they don't be choppy, they be very with tone, and with good speed. And in order to be very explicit instruction around those passages, very good. Stamina, excellent, thank you. Assessing reading with universal screening, secondary diagnostics, we'll talk a lot about that. And additional formative assessments, those are those secondary screeners of the high-ready and experience. And then as a district, you compile a list of secondary screeners of pinpoint areas of deficit to really tackle those gaps. And then we have shift 6, which is implementing a content-rich reading for curriculum that builds background knowledge and vocabulary, and that is our APE program, that is why we chose that, because it addresses shift 6. So that's all I have for you now.
Does anybody have any
Does
questions?
anybody have any questions before I hand them over to Superintendent Zimmerman? Yes.
My child is in a. I'm not aware of this. Yeah, this is so. I hear that it's.
So right now, K-5 is mandated to use the same program that you make into reading. Middle school, some of them are using into literature, which is the HME, middle school counterpart. And
Mark
so the
Twain's
shifts are being implemented within the middle school. So they're in school, we've been giving the screeners, the students that need it for below on those, screener, on the initial screener. Where they're getting secondary screeners with pinpoint to be given the next instruction is to fill those gaps. So those be shifts that.
So I can talk about Mark Twain a little bit specifically. So all middle schools are implementing shifts 3, small group differentiated instruction based upon need. Shift 4, explicit instruction and practice and fluency for students who need it still in middle school. Everybody is assessing reading using iReady, and for students who are performing below grade level are taking secondary screeners, and the middle schools are all developing their multi-tiered systems of support, the MTSS work, to make sure every individual student who is not at or above grade level is getting the supports that they need to be at or above grade level. So it might not be as high profile in our middle schools because we are only mandated in K-5, and I made the decision to keep it there and not expand it across all of our middle schools. As we know, our middle schools in this district are very diverse, and I didn't want to add on another layer of a one-size-fits-all in places where the program is working at this point when I still had that choice. So, and we want to get really good at this in K-5 because it'll be better for the middle schools later on.
Yes, thank you for answering that. First of all, as an English language learner, understanding phonics, it's very strange that my child had the ELA education that I had, just reader as in. So I'm fully supportive of the science of reading. So I've actually heard relatives that want to teach and she remarked that intervening was actually rigorous, and that the only thing that I've heard, and this is at the middle school level, to be clear, is that it falls short on full course, and that most of it is kind of like short like text. You know, one of the things that first school is doing is supplement with a couple of books that they introduce. So I just want to bring it, I know it's not.
So, yeah, so right now in the middle schools, as we said, we're not mandated, so we're not digging deep. We have some middle schools and K-8, 6 to 8 classes that are using the into literature, and we're beginning to unpack that. With the rollout of phase 1, it is not recommended that you supplement with text outside the program because we really can't see the impact of a curriculum if we're bringing outside resources into that curriculum. I get your point. And as we move forward into the middle schools, we'll certainly, you know, explore if we have to do a mandated curriculum, if it's a literature is the right curriculum or not. Well, you know, we haven't done the deep dive of that yet as we focus on our K-5. So stay tuned for middle school.
You are saying that's all very tight schools with kids are reading there, and you know, as a parent, like, you know, if something's working, why are we trying to change it?
Right. I mean, you know.
Certainly there's.
Yes, and as we move forward, we'll definitely think about all of that if we have to do a mandated curriculum for our middle schools as well, right? So the next piece of the work, and Lauren, thank you so much for staying with us tonight and extending your day. Adam, you didn't hear that because she's a UFT member, so, you know, I'll make it up to her. You know that, Adam. Okay, so, our intended outcomes in meeting the needs for all learners. It is really important to me, that our students have what they need to be successful. And one of our most vulnerable groups are students with IEPs, right? And we must use the information we have from the various modes of testing for students with IEPs to create robust IEPs that really target their needs and result in instruction that is the right instruction in the least restrictive environment that is going to get that group of students to their goals, and to state standards, right? To reaching learning standards and to be able to navigate their education from K through 12 and beyond if that is what they choose. So we're really digging into this work and we're looking at how we're monitoring their progress and making sure that that data is meaningful to help our students progress. So I look forward to later in the year to be able to share some actual growth data with you. As we spoke about before, social emotional learning is a priority. Yes, you have a question, or you just shouting out social emotional learning? Yes. Right. I think we're each other's biggest fans because I love the work that's being done here. And we're very excited about Ruler and all the other social emotional programs that are in the district. What's really important to me, though, is that we're seeing those skills not in isolation, but for students to be able to utilize the skills that they're learning to manage their academic trajectory, to regulate their emotions so that they're ready to be present in their learning, to know when they're not quite ready for that, and to be able to articulate that to their teachers so that they can practice some mindfulness and strategies to shift them into a better space. And that's a continual work in progress, but we are growing, and we are working to embed our cell into the phase 1 work in our growth and literacy. So we're really very excited by all of this. We have a lot of professional learning, and Lauren spearheads a lot of it as our literacy implementation coach. We're really working with our teachers at the school level, at the district level, and teacher teams to manage how to use data, the plethora of data that we're getting, to really create and implement lessons that make sense for the kids that are in front of you. No two children are alike, no two classrooms service the same group of kids. So we have to be that critical of what we're doing. We have set very rigorous goals. It's important to me that as a district, we don't set goals that will have a 3% increase, right? That doesn't really help, and that's not affecting enough students. For me, it's more important that the vast majority of students hit their individual goals that are designed to help them close the learning gap over time, and for our students that are at or above to really hit their enrichment goals so that they can have the opportunity to engage in higher level learning if they're ready, that they are ready for. We're working with our principals for opportunities for structured and consistent leadership across our schools. We want strong family engagement. And we're constantly looking to build our relationships with community leaders and community resources. We have a very diverse population here in District 21, and it really is important that we have the right resources for all of our families. So that is our presentation on the state of the district, on where we are as of today. And Jay, do you want to open it up just to general questions for that part before public speaking?
Sure, we can do that. So do we have any questions from anyone on the council for Superintendent DeMola with respect to the state of the district? Okay. Do we have any comments from anyone in person? Questions?
I do want to shout out the principals that are here and on the Zoom and that couldn't be here at all tonight. The work they are doing is Herculean. With this new work of launching a new curriculum and all across all grade levels, shifting our approach to teaching and learning literacy, we have taken not one iota off their plate that existed before. We added all of this work. And in true District 21 form, our leaders are doing an amazing job at managing it all and figuring it all out. And I say it all the time, I'm the luckiest superintendent in New York City for many reasons, for our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers, and most importantly, our students and our families. I love the diversity of this district. I love the different points of view. And I love how we really all care about each other. I'm also very lucky to work with Adam Shapiro in partnership with the UFT. So hi, Adam. And that's my report. I also want to just share with you my heartfelt wish that you have a very happy holiday season, whatever you celebrate, and use this break to recharge and spend time with family and friends, and have a very happy New Year. I look forward to continuing our partnership and our collaboration in 2024.
Thank you so much, Superintendent DeMola. Then, we echo that. We value your partnership here on the CEC. And just before we let you go, just to make sure, if anybody is joining us virtually and has a question or a comment, you can feel free to. I don't think there are any. Okay. Would you like to come up? You could use the microphone.
Because the whole, I'll repeat what you asked.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm a parent with attending both District 20 and District 21. So I don't know if you heard. So District 20 is usually to the middle school level. It's not receivable. Like there's a lot of outcry from parents. So I really appreciate the fact that our district is.
Hello, hello.
We can get through there. Okay. All right. I think we have sound now.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions from anyone on Zoom right now for the superintendent?
Yes, I had a question that I
See
put in
any
the
hands
chat.
raised?
For the public speaking if necessary.
Okay, so
Thank you.
now we
Yeah.
will move on to the
Oh,
next
wait.
item on our agenda, which is the
Hello?
vote on the resolution to implement class size working group proposals and involve citywide and community education councils in compliance with the new class size law. In our business meeting earlier tonight, the council reviewed that. We had a discussion about it. Concerns and comments were raised about the resolution.
They're asking if you speak to the proposed funding for community schools.
And we have one more question actually coming from the Zoom for the superintendent.
So I don't have any more information than the public has on the proposed cuts to community schools right now. We're working with our schools to really examine how we're using our current budgets and to think about how we can maintain the services and the level of support for our students and families if the budgets are indeed cut. The funding formula is what it is, so because our schools are full, most of our schools didn't. We had a handful of schools that lost funding mid-year because their enrollment was not at the level that it was projected. Not to say that it's very down, but it wasn't at the level projected. But we are looking at where there are places that we can be more efficient with our funding so that our students and families don't really feel any proposed cuts at the school level. You know, and that's something that I do ask that the principals speak to at their school leadership teams, thinking about how they're utilizing their budgets as a whole and where adjustments could be made if necessary. I do know that there's talks in the city council and in the state about sparing the schools from direct cuts. So we're hopeful.
Thank you, Superintendent. If there are no other questions from the Zoom. Okay, we'll proceed to the. Sorry, yes, Mr. Ring?
You have a piece of it says.
Would you like to come up and use the microphone? Quick, is this a question for the superintendent?
I
about-
think this is a comment on the proposal.
I'm sorry, what is the comment in? Oh, okay, we're about to get to that right now, so I'll be right there. So again, we're moving on to the resolution about the class size law, the proposals from the working group that was formed to provide recommendations to the city on how to implement the class size law that was voted into state law and imposed on the city of New York, and how to involve citywide and community education councils in the process of that implementation. So we did discuss that earlier, like I was referring to in our previous meeting. We had a discussion amongst our council. Now we will take public comment. So anybody who would like to comment, Mr. Eng, if you'd like to come up, you can, so people could hear you virtually as well. Because otherwise everyone will be asking what you're saying. You could come up to the front. Okay, all right, sure.
When you have pieces and talks about our elementary school average 103% going to the blue book. It's impossible to know it's track order, what the numbers are for each school.
Okay, so when we get into
This is like the 1, 2, 3, number 5, second page.
the second thing, that's
It's public knowledge. It's on the DOE website, the
Yeah.
utilization rate.
right. So this is the Blue Book utilization rates that are published, to the public. And currently in District 21, the most current data has us at 103%.
Well, they asked,
It's on the
Yeah,
Not now.
yeah. That data is available and we can obtain that school by school. Yes, we can. And again, when we get to a school by school number, I know Superintendent DeMola, they're constantly shifting. So, we can definitely get the information, but the more we drill down into it, then we're going to get numbers that are sort of shifting, to a greater degree, right?
Yes, the Blue Book data is usually a year behind. So it's the last count that we have. In general, right now, our most overutilized school is 21K 253. And they're building an extension to make that overcrowding right now that's opening in September.
Oh, got it.
Sure. Understood,
Okay, sure.
understood. Thank you. If we have any other questions or comments about the resolution,
You wanna? how do you
we have
want-
someone,
do you wanna
okay,
go-
we have,
Adam wants to talk.
Do you wanna alternate the chat? and the
yeah, we
person, or do you
could,
wanna
let's do that. We'll alternate in person and chat. So we had one in person and we could go to someone.
the chat? How do you want-
Yeah, we'll alternate. We'll go in person and then to the chat. So we'll move now to a question that we have from Lainey Hameson. So Lainey, if you have a question or comment, we're gonna have 2 minutes for everyone to speak who would like to. So Lainey.
Run out
feel free to
5.
Take the floor.
Comment. Sorry. Can I speak now? Hello? Do you hear me?
Okay, I don't think we're not hearing. I see you're unmuted.
No, I unmuted myself.
Okay, hold on one second, lady.
Okay.
What? Okay. Hold on, let's. Okay. Good, you try now?
Try again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. My name's Lainey Hameson. I'm the Executive Director of Class Size Matters, and I was on the Class Size Working Group along with Randy and a lot of other parent leaders and educators. And I'm here to say that I hope that you pass this resolution. The research is crystal clear that smaller classes lead to better student outcomes in every way they can be measured. Your schools are very overcrowded, especially your elementary schools. And I think the class sizes in K through 3 are the largest this year of any, second largest of any district. You need more schools built in your district for sure. The DOE has said to the working group that you're one of the districts that doesn't have room to lower class sizes even in kindergarten. The capital plan is highly flawed. The new 5-year plan does not have a single seat for your district in it. And also of great concern is that 77% of the seats are not identified as to district, sub-district, or grade level, which is really a huge departure from the past in terms of the lack of transparency and $2 billion cut from new capacity compared to the existing plan. So I think that it's important that more schools are built in your community. I hope that you fight for that in District 21. I'm going to be fighting for it citywide. Really, the capital plan is not sufficient in terms of transparency or in terms of new school space. But there's no doubt that your kids, your students would benefit from the smaller classes that will allow more individual feedback, more personal attention, and more sense of connection between students and teachers going forward. So I hope that you do vote for this resolution, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Minnie. Appreciate that. And now we will take a question in person. I know Adam Shapiro, our UFT district rep, is here. So Adam, I know you said you wanted to share something. So if you
I just want to know, I'm keeping time.
I'm sorry.
I'm keeping time so everyone knows it's coming.
Okay, so again, we have 2 minutes. You can grab this one.
Use my microphone, Adam.
It's a pleasure.
Hi, Adam.
Hey everyone, as you may or may not have heard, my name is Shapiro. I'm District 21 representative, and I'm here rising in support of this resolution. In our district, students in grades K and 3 who are just starting their educational careers are sitting in classrooms that are on average the second highest in the entire city. In grades 4 to 8, there are only 3 other districts with a higher average class size. At a time where our city has brought in higher than anticipated revenues and has received record state aid, the mayor is slashing budgets which will hamstring principals, thus having a direct negative impact on children in this district and citywide. That is not leadership, it's cowardice. No one person should have this type of control over a school system as large as New York City, which is why we must end mayoral control as we currently know it. We must give CECs more say over what's occurring in their districts. And essentially, that's what this resolution is talking about. The class size law overwhelmingly passed through the state assembly and state senate. This resolution isn't asking anyone to vote on whether they personally like the new class size law. What the resolution is asking is, do you think the District 21 CEC, as well as other CECs throughout the city, should have input to ensure that this law is properly implemented? Do you think this CEC should have the transparency to ensure this law is properly implemented? To call on the mayor to stop cutting the budget. However, to me, this resolution is about more than just the class size law implementation. It's about power. Specifically bringing power to the CECs. I believe you should have that power. If you agree, I'm asking you to vote in favor of the resolution. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
10 minutes,
As-
10 seconds to spare.
Just made it in time. And as we alternate back and forth with folks who are in person and virtual, we have Brad Alter has his hand raised. So Brad, you can feel free to unmute and speak. Your 2 minutes start now.
Thank you very much. My name is Brad Alter. I'm a public school parent and a special educator. I was also a parent member of the class size working group. And the reason I'm commenting is that I really want to urge the CEC to pass this resolution. The reason is that the working group was formed because there was a desire by the city to have public input by all the various stakeholders. And I believe that, having been through this work, that the recommendations are extremely sensible. They're recommendations where I believe that we're good stewards of the limited resources the city have. And I encourage everybody to look at the recommendations because I believe the majority of them are cost neutral. And ultimately it's gonna, the charge was to come up with ideas and ways to implement the law, right? This isn't about whether the law should be here or not. It's how do we implement it in the most effective way, but also the most cost, efficient way. And I think that this, I'll tell you, like, I'm not happy with everything that's in there, but I think that's a good thing because we came together and we found compromise and we found what we could agree on and what would do the most good for the most people. And so I really do encourage you to pass this. Also, to the point that Adam made, I think that, the disempowerment of CECs is a real concern. And I think especially with the implementation of this law, because a lot of the implementation questions should be addressed by CECs at the community level. And that's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Alder. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So do we have a question in person, Ms. Chu? 2 minutes, start now.
Hi, my name is Yatsun Chu, and I'm a district parent here in 21. I'm here to oppose and ask you to abstain or oppose the resolution before you about class size. Their recommendations are harmful to the challenges families face in South Brooklyn. In our district, 68% of classes are over the new caps, and over half of our schools are over the 100% utilization. I have numbers here which I'll share with you. District 21 ranks 7th citywide out of 32 districts, having the most number of classes over the new law. Parents may instinctively prefer smaller class sizes, but we face a great deal of undesirable trade-offs. The working group is calling for enrollment caps at schools which don't have the space to comply. The law stipulates lower class sizes for just 4 core subjects. So in order to make space for these additional smaller class sizes for these subjects, classes in music, art, libraries will be displaced. We have no space. Dual language G&T programs will also be eliminated. They recommended that 5-year-olds capped out of their zone schools be placed in a quote nearby schools that require 30 minutes walking distance for a 5-year-old. They recommend students with disability be placed in schools within the same district. As you can see from a map that I'm happy to share with you, we won't be able to even do that. District 21 kids will have to be bused to District 17 and 18 where they do have them. Popular South Brooklyn high schools will need to drastically cap enrollment as well, pushing kids to high schools farther afield in the city. Murrow, Brooklyn Tech, Lincoln, Dewey, Midwood, Leon Goldstein's are all have to cut seats. We need to build more schools, and it will take more than 5 years to accomplish that. Look at what they've done in just 1 year. I mean, we just got a presentation.
Thank you. That's the time. That's the 2 minutes. That's the 2 minutes time. That no, it's in respect to everyone. In respect to everyone here. In respect to everyone here, we afford 2 minutes. It's been you're here at all the meetings. We explained it multiple times. Everybody has cooperated with the two. It is disrespectful to sit here and take everyone else's time. It is a 2-minute time limit. It has been expressed to you. You're telling me you're going to keep our microphone and not let us?
More?
No, we are.
That as a public school parent in this district.
We respect your
concerns.
We
I
respect
cannot
your concerns and your
yell
opinion.
10 seconds more.
Ms. Chu, we
I have
respect your.
2 more sentences to
Okay.
complete. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
You asked for, go ahead. 10 seconds.
I asked the council to oppose the recommendations by the working group. Instead, I urge you to read the minority report, which recommends a phased-in approach so that class sizes can be achieved for students who will have the greatest benefit. This law needs to be
Okay,
amended.
we're at 20 seconds now since you said 10 more seconds.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Just to be clear, we respect everyone's opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion and to share here during the public comment section. And, we have a public comment section in general, not just for, for this vote, but we have one at the end, and I know you've signed up for that as well, and you'll be afforded 2 minutes to speak then as well, and we welcome that. We look forward to it. But we have this rule in place to respect everyone's time, to let everyone be able to share their opinion and their thoughts. We respect you being able to share your thoughts, but we just ask everyone adhere to that and just be respectful of everybody's time. Thank you very much. We do have another online comment or question from Johanna Bjorkin. Okay, Ms. Bjorkin, you're muted.
I'm sorry about that. So there I go.
Okay, your 2 minutes start right now.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Johanna Bjorkin. I'm a parent nearby in Sunset Park. I'm not in District 21, but I was also a member of the class size working group, and I'm here. I hope you will vote in favor of this, and I hope that the scare tactics that you just experienced won't deter you. If you actually read the recommendations, you could say one of the things that the recommendations emphasized was that there be local consideration, that there would not be a cookie cutter approach to anything happening with implementation of the law. And that means that the situation as applies in District 21 will be relevant to how things are in District 21. Certainly nobody was recommending that kindergartners walk 30 minutes. That's ridiculous. I do want to say that one of the reasons that it's important is that this is a historic moment. This law was passed as the result of decades of activism, and the recommendations are meant to be long lasting. This is our opportunity to stop having a situation where it's normal for 32 first graders to be in a class learning to read. The reason that the parents support this measure is because it's common sense. And what we're asking the DOE is to recenter how they think about class size. That does mean shifts. It doesn't mean trade-offs that aren't already in place for schools just with a different number. Instead of looking at 32 as the cap and you have to open a new class at 33, it's going to be more reasonable. And reconceptualizing the budget is going to be important. But as we see, when you already have schools that are facing budget cuts in the middle of the year, it's already broken. So I would say this is like rise to the challenge. This is a great moment for parents. It's a great moment for children to be able to actually get the education they receive. And I hope you'll vote in favor.
Thank you, and that is timed. Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other comments in person? Yes. Your 2 minutes start now.
My name is Ethan Chen. Like I said before, I have kids attending both District 20 and District 21. So I'm here to oppose this resolution. So while a small class size is a appealing concept, it becomes challenging in the context of limited financial resources, particularly in a setting like New York City, where mayors are cutting library hours, school safety agents, and please keep in mind, new schools does take time to build. So the impact of the pandemic has exacerbated the issue, leading to a significant attribution of teachers. For instance, my son's current middle school is grappling with a shortage of teachers, especially in foreign language department. Additionally, minority class size working group came up with a report which highlights the correlation between school overcrowding and student performance in reading and mathematics. Counterintuitively, it suggests that more crowded schools tend to exhibit better academic performance. This challenged the notion that large class size inherently hinder educational outcomes. Given these complexities, it is crucial to approach the implementation of small class sizes in a phased manner, step by step. One pragmatic step could be to start with grades K-3, gradually expanding to other levels. Moreover, we should prioritize schools that are currently performing below grade level. We will ensure a targeted and strategic approach to address academic challenge. In conclusion, like I said, step-by-step, multi-phase implementation of the small class size mandate is necessary.
10
Please
seconds.
consider inputs from parents, from real parents, not like working group like your team members, and consider the unique challenges posed by resource constraints and the current state of school in your city. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Okay, so do we have any other questions online? No other questions online, or in the chat. And then do we have any other questions here in person? Okay, we do not, so we can proceed with the vote, and I will go through the members. Jay, myself, I vote yes. Randy,
Yes.
yes. Lakeisha,
Yes.
Lakeisha votes yes. Esfira,
Yes.
Esfira votes yes.
Yes.
Elizabeth is not here tonight. Priscilla,
Yes.
Priscilla votes yes. Amy,
Yes.
Amy votes yes. Nadia, Nadia votes yes. Dawn,
No.
oh, Dawn votes no. Petra,
Yes.
Petra votes yes. Maxim,
Yes.
Maxim votes yes. May Ping,
No.
May Ping votes no. So with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in favor and 7 being required to pass, the resolution passes on urging DOE to implement the proposal of the upper class size working group and comply with the new class size law. Now we will move on to the vote on the resolution in support of sustaining key education programs funded with expiring federal COVID-19 relief. This has to do with programs that were funded with the funds that came through the pandemic from the federal government that are now expiring, that jeopardized those programs. That was discussed at our business meeting as well earlier tonight between the council. Do we have any comment or questions from the public with respect to this particular resolution? Any comments or questions from the public in person? I see none. And any from anyone online? I do not see any hands raised or any questions being posted in the chat. So we can proceed to the vote. On the resolution in support of sustaining key education programs funded with expiring federal COVID-19 relief funds. Jay, myself, I vote yes. Randy?
Yes.
Yes. Lakeisha?
Yes.
Lakeisha votes yes. Esfira? Esfira votes yes. Liz is absent. Priscilla?
Yes.
Priscilla votes yes. Amy?
Yes.
Amy votes yes. Nadia? Nadia votes yes. Dawn?
Yes.
Dawn votes yes. Petra?
Yes.
Petra votes yes. Max?
Yes.
Max votes yes. And May Ping?
Yes.
May Ping votes yes. Unanimous vote of all present here except one absence. The resolution passes. And now we will move on to the next part of our.
I have to leave. Can I say hello to you?
Yeah, sure. So, okay. So we have some elected representatives here. So before we get to the president's report, skipping ahead to public comment, just for representatives of our elected officials. We have some online too, and I will get to you in a moment. We'll do all those right now, but we have Stanley Eng from Councilwoman-elect Susan Zhuang's office. Thank you, Stanley.
Good evening and happy holidays. My name is Stanley Eng. I'm here tonight to represent Council Member-elect Susan Zhuang. Okay, and to let you know, I will be here to work with you, CEC, superintendent, and your principals, right? So I just want to let you know we're here tonight. I can let you know my background. I have 10 years on the CEC by CCHS. So I know what you guys have to do, know the procedures, I know the issues when it comes to funding. Okay? So I look forward to working forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stanley. We appreciate all your years on the citywide council and the community education council during your time as a parent of public. Thank you very much. And we look forward to, interactions with yourself and council member Zhuang's office. Thank you very much. We also, I believe, we have Francis Brown. Is Francis still on from Senator Chu's office?
Hi, yes, I'm still here.
Okay,
Yes, so I'm Frances Brown. I'm from Senator Ewan Chu's office. Thank you for the CEC for having us tonight. I'm just here to pass along the Senator's greetings for the happy holiday season, Happy New Year. Thank you for all the work you guys do. Senator goes back up to Albany in January, so she won't be around quite as much because she'll be in Albany pretty much Monday through Thursday each week until June. But our office is still always open. If anyone needs anything, please reach out. And yes, have a nice rest of your meeting.
Thank you. And Francis, we appreciate you being here as always, and you can extend our thanks to the senator. Also, I believe, I'm just trying to look back through here, but we had Teresa Scotto from Community Board 15, the chair of Community Board 15. We just want to acknowledge you. If you'd like to say a word, you can, and we'd love to hear from you, but that's up to you. I'm not sure if Teresa is still here.
It's okay. Thank you so much for the acknowledgement. Happy and healthy holiday to all.
Thank you very much, Teresa, and thank you for your work as chair of Community Board 15. We also have Eddie Mark, district manager from Community Board 13. Eddie, would you like to share any updates?
Sure. Hi, guys. This is Eddie Mark. I'm with Community Board 13. The one thing that the kids can do during the winter break is we're having some free ice skating on December the 28th and 29th. I'll put it in the chat for the people to view. And also it's free from 8 a.m. to 12 noon on both days. My suggestion, get there at 8 because the skates go out pretty quick. And 1 year they turned people away once 10 o'clock came. So get there at 8 o'clock if you guys want to go in for free skating. Okay, everyone, happy holidays.
Okay, thank you, Eddie. And now, before we move on to public comment, we were glad to hear from our elected officials, representatives, and community board representatives. We're just going to proceed with the president's report. So Hanukkah concluded last week. Hope that all of our families who celebrated had a wonderful holiday filled with light and happiness. Happy Hanukkah to everyone who celebrated. Winter solstice is tomorrow. That means that it's the shortest day of the year with the least daylight, but that means that we can look forward to every day getting a little bit brighter, a little longer. For the next 6 months, a little bit more light every day. Winter recess is going to begin following this school week. I know we're all very much aware of that, and we'll all be off here at schools through January 1st. Wishing everyone who celebrates a very Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. And that everyone enjoys a well-deserved break during this period of time at the end of the year. Schools will be also closed on another day before we meet again next month. So that will be Monday, January 15, in observance of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Thank our schools for their efforts in educating our kids about Dr. King's teachings and his life. The 2023-2024 school calendar with all of these dates, as well as the following two years calendars, which is great that they provided 2 years worth of calendars to us now. That could be found online. I'll drop the link in the chat for those online if you want to check that out. Testing dates, there are no particular testing dates coming up right now. In the upcoming weeks, you can find your school meals information. I'll drop that in the chat as well. So if you want to see what's being served on what day, you can check that out. Some admissions dates. High school and middle school application periods closed earlier this month. Those offers will be released in March and April respectively. Kindergarten and kindergarten G&T application is currently open. That'll run through January 19th. So make sure to put in your applications for kindergarten G&T by January 19th. 3K and pre-K opens up January 10th. Events around the district that I've been to since our last meeting, there've been a lot. I mentioned in our business meeting when we did our activity reports, a lot of different Thanksgiving events and winter festivals, holiday events, PTA meetings, principals meetings. It's always great to get around the district and commune with our folks in all our schools. I've been able to attend some citywide events with UFT president, CSA president, with the chancellor. So, we really appreciate the opportunities to present, our needs for the district in those citywide meetings. And there have been a lot of virtual sessions and meetings the past few weeks with respect to different budgetary concerns. And we know there's all sorts of challenges already for our schools in terms of budgets, and those are seeming to increase by the day. So, we take that very seriously, and we will be discussing that in the CEC as, we progress through the budgetary cuts and the capital plan and all the different things that face our schools in terms of the budgets. 2 weeks ago, there was a serious assault by a student at Morrow High School, and that led to another student being hospitalized. It was a very tense day for everyone involved, for the school administration, for the parents. School administration engaged their safety protocols. We had a parent reach out to us at CEC21 by email through a message they sent to several New York City public school addresses. Through, in addition to that, through some other channels, I was able to speak with multiple parents. Parents are scared. They're worried for their kids, obviously, on a day like that. And there's, I reached out to some of these parents just basically to listen to their stories, their feelings about it. Obviously, when anything like this happens, it's unexpected. Our schools plan for the worst. They plan for these eventual, possibilities. But, we all hope that never happens. There are obviously discussions being had about how that was handled that day. And the parents that I spoke to felt overall like the school did a very good job in a very difficult situation. And some concerns they had are things to talk about and discuss going forward, because there's always an opportunity to use this to better prepare in the future and to be better able to respond in a situation like this and communicate with worried parents. I actually plan to, the next time some of us CEC presidents meet with the chancellor, this is something I plan to present to the chancellor and see where he and his team are with respect to this. Last month, I mentioned that I had donated blood at David A. Booty in late October to a drive they were hosting. Tomorrow, I'll be donating blood at New Utrecht High School, my alma mater. So, the cookies and the snacks and the drinks always taste a little better after you've donated blood. I don't know why that is, but that's just the case. I thank all the schools that, host these events. If you would like to donate blood during this shortage, and again, a lot of our schools, around District 21, all around Southern Brooklyn, I dropped the link right in the chat. It's the New York Blood Center, nybc.org. It's really easy to just search your zip code. Look, there's so many opportunities to donate blood at our public schools, at religious institutions, at police precincts. There's so many locations that are hosting these, so it's very easy to do. I encourage everyone to check into that if you can. And last, I would just like to wish everyone a very, very happy holiday season. It's been a, exciting, often hectic, fall and beginning to winter as we move into winter. And I just hope you enjoy some quality time with your family, have a well-deserved break, and I look forward to a productive and successful 2024 in District 21. So now we're going to move on to public comment. I know we had some people sign up that I think have already spoken and at other points and left. Ms. Chu, would you like to speak?
Thank you. So I know there's great concerns about budgets. You guys are all very concerned about school budgets. You should know that the class size is going to cap enrollment. At my school, my principal already told me that 300 seats will have to be capped out. So that's 300 kids that can't come to a school that's very popular. Along with 300 kids are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars that you guys care about. Yet you are okay with basically proceeding with capping enrollment at our schools, which means our schools will lose that funding. That is a reality of how schools operate. We have no space. We're in a teacher shortage. You cap the schools, you cap the funding. I just don't understand. I'm a parent in this district. I have nothing to gain. My kid is in middle school. By the time this is in place, if it gets in place, I'm out of here. I'm worried about ones that have first graders, third graders, where the schools you want to attend in our district will be capped, and you will have to send your kids farther afield. And I'm really disappointed that you voted to support a report which you probably didn't read, 55 pages in there that says a lot of things. And you just supported a resolution to say, go ahead and do this to my district. I'm really disappointed. I have numbers for you. That gentleman before asked how the utilization is for all of our district schools. I have it here. I have a map showing basically that schools around here, they're all overcrowded. Where are you going to send your kids? So, I mean, when your neighbor says, crap, you know what? My kid can't go to that school I thought I was zoned for. Please answer to them and let them know that I voted to support this implementation and that, sorry, you can't go to that school.
Are there any other public comments? Any from our virtual crowd on Zoom?
We have Judge Gottlieb.
Oh, the Honorable Judge Gottlieb is here. Judge, would you like to say a few words?
Oh, sure. First, I'd like to wish everybody a happy, healthy, wonderful holiday season. Please forgive my voice or lack thereof. I was diagnosed with COVID today, so which is why I'm not with you. I'm appearing virtually. When I came before the council, I believe it was in September, I spoke about trying to put together a program in terms of bringing some kids from District 21 schools into the courthouse. We made our first arrangement to have Kingsborough come this past Monday, where we had everything set up, but unfortunately, due to the weather, the schedule had to be re-coordinated, and it's going to happen, but in 2024. I've been contacted also by PS209, and I'm going to be circling back with them with regard to seeing what could be done to schedule a visit, but it will not happen before at the earliest March or April of next year. January is a transition month with new judges coming in, and then some going up to Supreme Court, and there's already a number of schools that are coming in, have been scheduled for February. So the earliest anything would happen would be March or April, and then we could work on scheduling. So I just wanted to say we are, looking forward to Kingsborough coming, and then seeing what we could work out with PS209, and, you know, start the process thereafter of more and more.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate it. And I know the kids, obviously, you know, it would have been great for them to come already, but they'll be looking forward to when they're able to have that rescheduled and come hopefully in the spring.
Yeah, well, we had a whole tour set up for them, plus a mock program, plus being able to speak with different representatives of the courthouse family, so they could see it's more than just the judge and the lawyers as part of the process, and maybe give them some ideas about potential careers that they could have in the courthouse.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate all you do and, you know, providing those opportunities to our district's kids. And echoing what you said, that, you know, we wish you a very happy holiday season. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the virtual audience? Yes, we have Al. You can feel free to speak.
Hey Jay, how you doing? I think I saw you Monday night at the CSA meeting. Didn't have a chance to talk to you. About the class size resolution that you guys passed, I hope you're aware that there's no funding to implement this law. Although, you know, John Liu and some other politicians are saying that, hey, the state is buying 1.3 billion every year, and that money can be used. That's not true. 600 million of that 1.3 is going to fund fair student funding for the first time ever. Another 200 million is going to contracts for excellence. And then the balance is going to pay for the U of T contract that was signed this past June, which is about a $500 million increase. So that's $1.3 billion already. That means there's no funding available for class size implementation. So in order to fulfill the law, the DOE is required to find the $1.9 billion somewhere. And what that entails is, you know, cutting existing programs, such as Summer Rising, pre-K, 3K, and a host of other programs. And on top of that, we're losing the federal stimulus after September 24. So there's a lot of budget pressure, considering that this law mandates class size implementation. So this is a big problem, and I hope that the council really considers the issues. So I just want to put that out there. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Su. And again, yeah, we did kind of wind up in the same room last night. Sorry we didn't get to the other night. Sorry we didn't get to actually chat to catch up at the next meeting. Yeah, Steve Stowe is with us. Steve.
Thanks, President Brown. My name's Steve Stowe. I'm the president of CEC21, your neighbors. I also, along with President Suhu and I believe Vice President Gary, served on the working group for the class size law. There's a better way to do this, and I just want to communicate that as often as I can to parents and to members of different CECs that the law as it's currently written will not work. And I learned that, you know, we all sort of wrestled with that over months on the working group. As President Suhu just said, it's extremely expensive. It also, there are logistical issues that were not resolved that the working group did not, frankly, never targeted, never got to, and it's going to result in a lot of disruption for districts like District 21. If you look at the research, you look at where this has been tried, California, Florida, the research, there's almost no research other than one study in Tennessee that shows real benefits from smaller class size. So I'm very concerned about the impact that it's going to have on our schools, on our districts. I have a resolution coming up at my meeting in January, my CEC20 meeting, on a different way of doing this, amendments to the law that will make it much more implementable and that will really target the areas where it's needed most. Anyone who considers himself an equity advocate should be very concerned about this law. It will result in a massive transfer of funding on a per student basis to districts that are very high performing academically. And I realize I'm arguing against my own district there, but I can't in good conscience say that this is a good law for New York City. And I urge everyone to really reconsider. Please feel free to attend our meeting in January, read the resolution. There's a better way to do this. Thank you so much for the time to speak.
Thank you, President Stowe. Do we have any other comments from virtual crowd? Okay, I do not see any. Yes, we have Brad Alter. Brad? You have 2
Hey,
minutes.
folks, it's me again. I'm just going to be really simple. There were the couple of the past speakers made some pretty high inference statements, and I just encourage anyone who's hearing my voice to read the official report themselves. Like I said, it's very reasonable, and it was always at front of mind to be good stewards of limited resources. And also that, reducing class size, speaking as a parent and as an educator, it's not just about test scores. And you're going to see a focus on that in that minority report. And I just want to say that, like, if you look at like employability and what employers are even looking for, it's called soft skills. It's interpersonal skills. It's social emotional skills for a future economy. And our kids deserve to be seen. Like the rest of the state have these class sizes. And, is it going to be easy? No, but this is like, we're New York City. We can figure this out. And I think that the first step were these recommendations. And again, for the third time, I encourage everyone to actually read them. They're as accessible as we could make something that complicated. But, I stand behind that work. That's all. And have a good night.
Thank you again, Mr. Alter. Did we have any other? I don't see any raised hands. Do we have any other questions from folks on Zoom? I know we have no others from anyone here in person. What
Once they finish. As a public.
I'm sorry? Once you finish?
I know we're done. We don't have any.
No. She pointed down this way. I'm done.
Oh, I said I have a public comment.
She has one.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you for everyone for the experience. And I wanted to know that whenever you are going out to school, when you pass by and you see the school safety person on the street in the morning, during this holiday season, please stop by, pause and thank them for keeping the kids safe. I did it this morning because I see them rain or shine, cold, really cold. They stood there for hours. So it would be nice for all of us to stop and appreciate them and say thank you, especially with your kids next to you. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dawn. That's very, very important. And we actually skipped past our our committee's report, which it was going to be brief. We're still working on setting up our chair, Liz, of our special education committee, and she couldn't be here tonight. So she is working on coordinating a special education committee meeting. Our community outreach committee, which Dawn is on as well, we've been communicating, and Asphira, and Eddie Mark from our community board, 13. We're coordinating and setting up. It will be sometime in the early part of the new year. We were ready to meet next week, actually, but we realized that we really want to have our community outreach reach the community, and we realize next week is probably not a popular time for people to meet. So we'll be looking to do it early in January, as early as we can. We have a few times. Asphira's got something that she's been working on at her school and talking about other schools about it, which is a great initiative. To John's point, pedestrian safety, street safety, and if that ties into our crossing guards. And also, we're going to be having some discussions about troublesome areas, problematic areas that we know are potentially unsafe. So that's going to be some of the things we're discussing in our community outreach committee when we do have a meeting. And before we get to the point where we adjourn, well, actually, before I throw it to you, we had another question, another public comment. Hong.
Yes, I just found how to raise hand. So I really thankful. So I feel thankful for the parents who speak our parents' concern about the cutting smaller size. So we concern about if we could have the enrichment programs and about the quality of the the teaching our students receive, and also where the students going to go, the graduates of newly middle school and students where they're going to high school, if they're because of cutting class size, if they got affected, where those being distributed to which schools. So these are the real concerns of the parents. So I think it's not just so simple by being smaller class size. We kind of like smaller class size, but we feel it's not that simple. So we hope the council or whatever the superintendent, and also consider the parents, consider the principals, what's their concerns, and to find a more proper resolution and so respect for the parents' concern. Okay, I also thank for those parents who speak for our concern. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the chat? I know we've had some trickle in. I don't see any. Superintendent DeMola had a word before we move towards adjournment.
So I just wanted to thank everybody for their communication tonight. I don't know if everybody realizes we have some students here tonight, and what a teachable moment for Jake and Braden, who are here tonight, listening to the adults debate issues. I appreciate the civil tone. I appreciate you know, making your points of view clear. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I do want to thank everyone for, you know, communicating in such a respectful manner tonight and setting an example for these students that are here in person and any of the other children that are online tonight. I also want to just shout out Braden Ball, who's here with us tonight as one of the ruler ambassadors of PSIS226. I've had the pleasure of watching him grow up, and you know, I'm so very proud of him. He's a passionate young man who I know is going to be a wonderful leader someday. He's already a leader in the school. So thank you for coming tonight and voicing everything. Would you like to speak?
So what do you want me to say?
Whatever you want to say.
Hello, everybody. Again, I am Braden Ball, one of the eight rulers and ambassadors of the school. And as Lois said, did you say I forgot?
That you're one of the leaders of the school, and we're so happy that you were here tonight.
Oh yes, I'm very happy that I was here tonight. That Jake could also come. And I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Klein.
Thank you, Braden. I hope to see more students join us at the CEC meeting and really learn about what we do and the public discourse that goes on in a community to make things happen on behalf of our students. So thank you. Have a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful evening. Get home safe, everyone. You too, Adam.
I was actually prepared to say that was the first time you spoke without mentioning Adam, but okay, so now's that time. We come to the time where we can call for adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, motion from Amy and from Asfira. So with that, we adjourn our December meetings. Our next meeting will be January 7th, 2024. The location is PS212. I'm sorry, January 17th, 2024, the third Wednesday of the month, as always. PS212, 87 Bay 49th Street. We look forward to seeing you. Wait, and come up here, Jake and Braden. Say, you guys say the meeting is adjourned.
Hold on, wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Thank you everyone for coming to the CEC District 21 Community Council of Education. Thank you everyone who came in virtual and in person. We have a great night. Thank you.
That's all. Thank you, Braden.
Have you given me
Good night,
more?
everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah, no, thanks. It's been my part. That was really rude, okay? Really rude. All right, we have. That was really rude.
You overstepped. We explained to you.
Many councils that I've attended in the past, they will let people go on and speak, especially parents in their own district.
Thank you for.
I wanted to share.
You did go over the time, and we explained to you for several seconds that we will be on.
Okay, we have to move because it's 8 o'clock
Yes.
and can you unplug? Out so I can package it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know.